Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another brand new video. And yes, I am the voice actor behind Knuckles the Echidna and all the other Sonic characters. And plus, again, everybody, just want to give you guys an amount of another news, by the way, Sonic fans. And yes, this is me talking, the voice actor behind Knuckles the Echidna and other characters, and plus Sonic characters as well, and also separate channels too. So just want to let you guys know on another basic news, by the way, is that I actually did took a little bit of a relook on this, by the way, of me actually looking on this exactly, just pretty much with the deal with Sega and then also with Rufio, by the way. So now listen, as I said before, that even though my channels, like I said this again, that I'll say this once, is that again, pretty much my channels aren't associated with pretty much the ones exactly again that pretty much with fair use exactly, pretty much not associated with that company exactly. Just so you guys do know, I only use my channels just for fun, by me doing voices of the characters, even though sometimes it might be going a bit a few amount of swears for some amount of time to time, like few amount of times. But like I said again, at least it doesn't go too brutal exactly. It only just goes decently or goes around like a different time loop or exactly for something different. Now listen, as I was taking a look on Google the other day, I was taking a look on to say, it was, wait, what? Is something really even happening? Pretty much with Sega and Rufio? Like, I actually did took a look about some kind of a deal, by the way, after when they were making their 7 million, like some million something. Like, it actually really surprised bazillion people, exactly. It really surprised everybody. Even heck, Sonic fans and Angry Birds fans were pretty excited to hear from that. Which, I mean, I actually do want to say again, even though that Sega had like a bit of a different thing on their deal exactly with Rufio. Even though sometimes, like I said again, that there are some amount of companies, by the way, that sometimes do amount of good business or just sometimes doesn't do amount of okay-ish business exactly. But like I said, I don't blame any other, by the way. I only do tend to say whoever does do something fair exactly makes it more commonly, just to make things fair. Now, I actually do want to let you all know, by the way, is that it's kind of a bit of a decent news, as I actually did said on my third channel, by the way. If you guys haven't checked the third channel, then I recommend you check the third channel. So just want to let that to be clarified, is that, well, I am kind of a bit decent, but I just would say it's kind of a bit decent, but just want to let you guys know is that no, I'm not mad, sad, or anything. I'm only just saying I kind of feel a bit decent about the news. Just only talking about with Sega and Rufio's deal exactly about like having like some thing, by the way, that Sega actually did came to Rufio first, by the way, which pretty much was Sonic's, by the way. That Sonic actually was talking to Red by actually wanting to have Red's game over to Sega, by the way. So that way that they would have like a split in with the deal, by the way, so that way that the Angry Birds franchise would live exactly like live on and live on. I mean, it's pretty nice, and though it's pretty nice, but what I might say something I might disagree a little bit, it's just sometimes to say is that sometimes most things just sometimes just doesn't get into the right spot a little bit. But I mean, I at least I won't feel a bit more sad to hear from pretty much. However, the Angry Birds games on the app stores got removed. And you know what that sounded like? It sounded BS. It sounded absolute BS, which I would disagree the most. Which I'd say again, it really is stupid. Which, I mean, seriously, it's stupid. I mean, imagine how dumb that sounds. Seriously, how dumb does that sound? By actually removing one of the very best games. Seriously, by like removing one of its very best on the App Store. Like, I mean, I would disagree on Rufio's state of their view, by the way. I would actually have to disagree on their end of the point, but just wanted to say is that what they actually did was just so too far, by the way. Even hell, whenever I actually played on the iPad, by the way, by playing their kind of their games, by actually doing like all like Angry Birds Go or like any other game exactly, you know what else happened? Most of that got freaking damned removed. just because of some reason that actually went to a fail a little bit around like the 2000 teens that was around the day. Like seriously, it's just so dumb after when that actually happens. Seriously, it's just pretty dumb. Like I mean really, I mean, what kind of a company does that? Seriously, it's just like I mean, if Sega would have done absolutely the opposite, bruh, I'm not trying to want to like make things too hard exactly, just like make things absolutely a bit too hard exactly. But what I'm saying, by the way, is just what Rufio did was removing one of the games. It's just so dumb on the App Store. Like seriously, why couldn't you guys have keep it in the longest? Seriously, why would you guys not have keep it in the longest time without removing it? Seriously, you could have just warned people. Like, I don't know what kind of people would actually not listen to their own customers without warning. Like, isn't it kind of dumb and obvious? Like, if you give them like a warning by telling them what's going on, then you need to tell them what's going on. Which I mean, sometimes I'm just really wanting like come in here and talk about a little bit of a disagreeing point from Rufio's statement a little bit. But to Sega, by the way, I don't feel any bad about Sega, but what about Sega, by the way? Sonic 06 was the worst game. Trust me, it was bad. And also, whoever does want to come out here to say is whoever's going to defend Sonic 06 to say is, hey, it's a good game. Why are you hating so much on Sonic 06? Well, good reason and good question. Why? Because the game sucks, okay? The game literally just sucks. And I mean, you cannot change my freaking mind about however Sonic 06 was a good game. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise about telling me how the game was good. Like, really, come on. I mean, are we already gonna just be like the only people to be talking about this right about that minute? Like, saying is like, are we the only ones talking about how Sonic 06 actually would have gotten like a good game in like 5 hours to say how the game was ever gonna be accomplished? Like, no, it literally didn't make any good games. Like, Sonic 06 was a terrible game. It should have been thrown into the dumpster. I mean, the Shadow the Hedgehog game, I wouldn't say too bad amount of the Shadow game, even though I'm always a Knuckles guy, I'm all more of a Knuckles Echidna guy. But to me, by the way, I'd say Sonic 06 deserves hate in the trash bin. Even though that Silver the Hedgehog was in the game, but I don't technically don't blame Silver or anything. Silver would have gotten like a better phrase exactly. I mean, he still actually gotten like the best same ones by saying was it's no use or anything. I love when Silver still says that. Trust me, he still does that with that same thing. So, just like I said again, hope you guys understand what I'm coming from, and just pretty much for me understanding that. And also, pretty much again, hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. So, pretty much like I said, I am not associated with Sega or Rufio. I only just wanted to actually like make videos for fun, by the way, just make videos for fun, like me doing voicing of characters. But if people do understand that I don't associate with other companies, by the way, then that's what I'm trying to say is that I don't associate with any of those companies. I'm just saying is that I just pretty much would rather do their voices, like my voices into the characters I said before from the very start in the beginning. Is like I said again, even though people would be saying that they're going to be confused to say is, oh, I thought you are associated with those companies. And then to me, I'd say is, yeah, it's a little confusing at first, but sometimes you just need to understand what I'm coming from to understand exactly is that I am not associated with any of those. Like I said, even though again that it's true with most like main characters that gets to stay in the spotlights for a few times, just pretty much to stay with pretty much with their own companies like Sega and Rufio and Nintendo and even Scott Cawthon or any other games that are referenced into some other parts. That's the exact same way that it's only pretty much. And also one more thing. Yes, the only thing that is true that Sega and Nintendo did face each other back in the day for the competition, by the way, which it's true, by the way, definitely true, even though that Nintendo actually won against Sega. I mean, fair is to be fair again that even though Sega is actually winning over the Nintendo, but I'd say again it's another reverse swap just till now exactly that Sega is actually doing better wins than Nintendo is. So that's the only part of my own statement, even though again it's a bit more different now, since it's like a bit of a reverse, by the way. If you guys do not know what the reverse was about with Sega versus Nintendo, I was actually mentioning about the wins and losses. Like, this is Sega and this is Nintendo. So Sega lost and Nintendo wins. And what do you guys get? Sega wins and Nintendo loses. So just wanted to let you guys know that it was a bit more differently and commonly different. So I think that's probably the end of the time. So hopefully you guys understand that the news about me actually talking about is Sega owns Rufio, by the way, owns it, by the way. So again, though, I do say again that hopefully you guys understand from what I'm saying is hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Give this one a like, comment, subscribe, the bell, be notified. And without that being said, thank you very much for watching. And as without that being said, like, comment, subscribe, the bell, be notified, so that way that you do not miss a single video that comes onto the channel. And also, guys, you know what's something pretty bit crazy to be hearing that too? Is also imagine if Nintendo and also PopCap, by the way, actually were owning each other. Imagine if something else would have happened like that. Even though it's a bit different. I mean, imagine if Nintendo owns PopCap, by the way. Imagine if something's different, but like I said, I'm just trying to say if it's a guess. Not trying to say it's now. I'm only just making that as a guess. So, as and without that being said, thanks for understanding. So, be sure, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, the bell, be notified. And as without that being said, thanks for watching, Sonic fans. And as I said again, we'll see you upon next time and very much soon. So, anyway, signing out and see you later. Peace out, everybody. Peace.